Hello everyone and welcome to my Periscope tonight. I am excited to be here with you all, and tonight's topic, as you might have seen, is the sacral chakra. And this is a really important topic because, as we continue on our journey together to explore the topic of sexuality, one of the things that does come up is our energy, right? And I've talked a little bit about, different chakras here on my Periscope, but I really wanted to dedicate an entire session to talking about our chakras. Motivator Man, thank you for joining. Hablas español a las 9:30. So every day I do this Periscope at 9 o'clock in English and then at 9:30 in Spanish. So stay tuned at 9:30 if you're interested in listening to me in Spanish. You can come back at 9:30. Hello from Toronto. Hi, Motivator Man. Thank you for joining us all the way from Toronto. I've actually been there a few years back, and it's a lovely city. So Game Dungeon, thank you for joining. Finding Freedom, thank you for joining. Ecuador representing, awesome. Jimmy Jam, thank you, Jimmy Jam, for joining us tonight. I'm excited to have you all here with me on this magnificent night. And, hi. I'm smiling too. So to say it again, what is it that we're talking about tonight? Tonight we are talking about our sacral chakra. And our sacral chakra is very important in our sexuality. I don't know if you've all been tuning into every Periscope, and if you haven't, you can always catch it on Catch Me. But really, our sacral chakra is where our sexuality is connected. Duben, te veo a las 9:30. So yeah, our sacral chakra is where our sexuality is connected to, the energy center, right? So just to step back a little bit and talk about what are chakras, right? How do you spell that? On one of my earlier Periscopes today, someone brought up the question, so I figured I'd really go with what my audience is wanting and give you guys some talk, like a talk just specifically on the sacral chakra, and then I'll do different ones throughout the month to really capture all of the chakras. But because of the topic of my Periscope, and because I know you are all interested in this area, I really wanted to begin with the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra. And chakras are energy centers, right? We don't only have 7, although there are 7 main energy centers. And the second one is our sacral chakra. And chakra is spelled C-H-A-K-R-A, and sacral S-A-C-R-A-L. Okay? So I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm wearing orange, and it's for a reason. So orange is actually the color of our sacral chakra. And, every Rachel Porter, your favorite color. I know it's one of the colors I always feel powerful when I wear it. So I definitely agree that this is a wonderful color. And one of the things that I like to do is whenever I'm feeling, the need for some sacral energy, I wear the color. I either put on a lipstick that has like an orange tint to it, or my scarf. It's a really fun way to incorporate the sacral energy into your life and into your everyday. So let's talk a little bit more about the sacral chakra and how it's connected to your sexuality. So the element that is associated with the sacral chakra is water, right? And if you are into astrology, you know there's 4 signs: earth, water, wind, and air. And water is very flowing. That is part, water nourishes us, replenishes us, right? So it's very much in alignment with that sacral energy. Where is our sacral energy, right? Where is that sacral chakra? And it's right below your belly button. So I actually want us all to take just like a few seconds, actually like even a minute. I want to dedicate an entire minute to this. And I want you to put your hands right below your belly button and just feel that energy. What comes up for you when you touch that area just underneath your belly button. And for a minute, I am going to ask us all to just sit in silence and connect to that sacral energy. So I am going to look at the time. It's 9:13, and in about a minute we will come back. So starting now. Okay, and we are back. So I want to hear in the comments, what did you all feel when you did that small exercise of really touching that sacral chakra right underneath your belly button? Hi from Ohio, welcome. And what came up? Relaxation, amazing. Yes, Rachel. I definitely began to feel more connected. Tranquil from Jimmy Jam, awesome. So it's so unique, when we actually take time to connect to our sacral energy. Present, yes. So much flows through our sacral chakra, right? Our sacral chakra is where our creativity begins, right? So if you are struggling, if you're a writer or an artist or even a motivational speaker, you want to consistently connect to your chakra, right? To your sacral chakra. It's also through our sacral chakra that we experience pleasure. And yes, grounding happens through there, right? Our first chakra is our root chakra, and our sacral chakra is very close to it. So definitely it is through our sacral chakra that we connect to that root and begin to be feeling grounded. Some other elements that come into play with our sacral chakra is obviously our sexuality, right? So our sexuality, that is the center of it, right? That is the center of pleasure. It's not a coincidence that our genitals are not too far from there, because it definitely all connects. And also, two other very important elements that are connected to our sacral chakra are freedom from guilt, right? Freedom from guilt. And the nature of our relationships. And I think that those two things I stress, because if we are, not connected to our sexuality, there is guilt and shame and blame that comes into that energy center and blocks it, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about what does a open chakra feel like and look like, and what does a closed chakra feel like and look like. So definitely, even knowing, that the nature of our relationships comes from our sacral chakra, right? So the relationships that we want to manifest, if we are not connecting to our sacral chakra ourselves, it's going to be really hard to manifest that, to really attract into our universe, into our space, the relationships that we want. And I'm not just talking about romance. I'm talking about even with your family, right? If things are challenging and you are disconnected from your sacral chakra, there's a connection there, right? Everything on some level has a connection. And for sure, your sexuality and your relationships are connected to your sacral chakra, as is that element of freedom of guilt, right? So much is put onto us since we're little about, even as a child, I remember being told, like, don't touch that. That was like a no touching zone. Yet it's one of the areas that has the most impact on my life. But all of that shaming and guilting that happens early on in life, sometimes without our parents really knowing what's happening, why they're saying it, right? Or the impact that can have on us. It does. It has that impact. And it's up to us to really do the work to unblock that, right? To release those energies, those beliefs, that guilt that we might have deep down inside, limiting our capacity to really have an expansive sexuality. So to talk a little bit about what does it look like when your sacral chakra is closed, right? So some of the beliefs that you may have is, for example, sex is bad, right? And this is a belief that there's a lot of our community, of our planet, that has this belief, right? That there is something maybe evil about sex. And, that somehow you can be hurt by it. That you can be hurt during the act of it, right? And that has its own manifestations. And on a different Periscope, I talked about sexualization and how, rape and incest happen. But this is more of a belief, not the reality of an event happening, but really a belief that sex is bad and that it can hurt you. So you close off from it, you isolate yourself, right? You withhold from that intimacy. And in the real moment, that might be that instead of being in the moment, you're off thinking about the grocery list that you have to do tomorrow, right? And I want to bring it back to the comments that you all said, feeling present, feeling tranquil, feeling grounded, right? Those emotions, those sensations, that is something that you want to tap into while you're engaging in sex. What if withholding is due to rape and disassociation? I would say that is a very real thing, and there is always healing that can be done. So I invite you to, get in touch with me afterwards if that is a situation that you or someone you love is experiencing. Really reaching out for support and guidance on how to release those energies, how to overcome those life experiences, so that you can tap into and open up that sacral chakra and have a very fulfilling, passionate sexuality and sex life, right? Another way that it manifests is you can feel like you're not sexy enough to be loved, right? You're not good enough to be loved. You don't deserve love. And this again has to do with that sacral energy, with that freedom from guilt, with, being in touch with your sensations, with pleasure, with creativity. When you are fully expressing yourself as a creative being, you feel sexy. When you are living full out in that power that comes from that sacral energy, you feel confident. There's a intrinsic confidence that comes over you that really drives you into looking and feeling sexy, right? Someone might be wearing the skimpiest outfit, but if they are not a confident being, if they do not own who they are and are connected to that sacral energy, they might not look so sexy. It might look, like too much. When you see it, right? You can tell when you see someone who is sexy for the reason that is they are connected to who they are connected to their bodies, and they are living from that space. Another thing that comes up when our sacral chakra is closed is feeling abused, feeling hurt, taken advantage of, really having confusion around who do I trust? Do I trust this moment? Can I be loved? Can I not be loved? Is my lover in kaputz with someone else? All of these thoughts and feelings become part of your experience through your sacral chakra, and that is really that like the light bulb and the indicator going off, like check the engine, right? It's like check what's going on with your sacral chakra. How can you unblock that energy to really tap into who you are and that power that really is intrinsic within you, right? And sacral energy, all the energy that we have within us and outside of us in this world is unlimited. So if our chakra is closed, you might be feeling tired, lethargic. You might not have much of a sex drive. And all of these manifestations are really because there's no energy flowing in and out. There's a block, and that block is really limiting our ability to take in and also to push out, right? Because we release energy and we absorb energy and we take it in. So that exchange is really important for us to maintain flow, right? When we say be in the flow, when it comes to the sacral chakra and really all the chakras, you want to keep them open, right? So that flow goes in and out smoothly. So now, what does a sacral chakra when it's open look like? You have a very, very strong sense of your sexuality, right? You can recognize your power within. Your creative energy is tapped into instantly, right? You think about connecting to that energy, and it's instant. It happens automatically. you're in that moment of flow, right? You also can tell if your sacral chakra is open by what your relationships look and feel like. So when your sacral chakra is open, you are creating very healthy relationships, and you're nurturing those relationships, and they're growing, right? They're manifesting and transforming however it is that you need for that to manifest and transform in your life in that moment. You also are honoring of yourself and honoring others, and really being present and connected when engaged in sexual activity, when engaged in deep conversation with someone. You are just fully there, present, being with that person and with yourself. You are also enjoying pleasure, right? So that is like a huge indicator. It's kind of like the opposite of the check the engine. It's like engine is working smoothly if you are enjoying pleasure. And I'm not just talking about the sexual pleasure. I'm talking about pleasure in life in different ways, in different aspects of your life, right? So if you are enjoying your work and you're seeking fulfillment, and you're feeling that fulfillment from your work, you know, you are probably really open in your sacral chakra. If you are enjoying food and really having a passionate, lustful relationship with food, right? Where every taste is ecstatic to you, that is an indicator of pleasure, and it's also an indicator that your sacral chakra is open. And then also in the physical act, right? If you're having deep intimacy, if you're feeling really connected in the moment, if you're having amazing orgasms, that is also another way to tell if your sacral chakra is open. So I know I've talked a lot about our sacral chakras, and I do want to pause for a few minutes and see if there's any questions on anything that I've said, any comments. I would love for you all to share, you know, what comes up for you with the talk that I just gave. Do you actually see how open or closed you might be? And it's not a matter of like it's open or it's closed, right? Like it can be partially open, it can have some blockages, and still there be some energy flow through there. But you can really tell, right? If you continue to connect, specifically like in the way that we talked about, just feeling that energy and connecting to it and seeing how does that feel in your body, in your physical body. And, you know, that's really going to be a huge indicator for you all to how is your sacral chakra doing. One of the things that I will say, right, is if you are feeling like you do need a boost in your sacral chakra, you can always do something like wear the color, right? Do a visualization exercise, right? So just like close your eyes and picture different things that are orange, right? So pumpkins and foliage, right? So the leaves turning orange, and just different things that are in nature that are of that color, orange flowers. You can begin to visualize those, and that also feeds your sacral chakra. It opens up that energy flow. It helps you connect. So I'm not seeing any questions pop up. So I think that you are all processing, and I am excited to have shared everything with you, and we'll hopefully see you all back here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock to talk about another topic to do with sexuality. Until tomorrow, I hope you have a very passionate night. tap into your sacral energy and enjoy.